Hello BookTube, Emmy Walker here to do another book tag. Today's is the Disney book tag. I've been seeing this coming up a lot recently, and a lot of the videos are actually sponsored. Mine is not. I wasn't tagged by anybody. It just looked really fun and I really wanted to try it. The original video I saw was Kat over at Cattytastic, and I will link that video down below so you can check that one out. She has some really cool answers, as well as some of the other booktubers. They have some really cool answers. They're fun to watch. The first question is the Little Mermaid, a character who is a fish out of water or someone who's out of their element. For me, I went right to Thomas from The Maze Runner. For this one, he starts off completely without memory. He has no idea how he got to this place or why he's there or even who he is. So I think that there's no bigger fish out of water than someone who has absolutely no idea where the heck they are. Question 2, Cinderella, a character who goes through a major transformation. For this one, I thought of Bilbo Baggins from The Hobbit. A hobbit is supposed to, shun adventure and, just do what they know and, farm and cook and live a long, healthy life, away from, anything bad. And Bilbo kind of shoves that right in your face, and he goes on this crazy adventure and he steals from dragons, and he becomes very unhobbitish and he changes very much. Question 3 is Snow White, a book with a cast of eclectic characters. For this one, I'm going to go with Crown of Stones, Magic Price by C.L. Schneider. This one has the brooding, mysterious, kick-ass, and we have the optimist, and we have the backstabber, and we have the villain who is so disgustingly evil I can't even stand it sometimes. There's all kinds of different characters, and they all come together, and they all work so well together, and they're weird. Question 4 is Sleeping Beauty, a book that puts you to sleep. For me, that was Time Travelers by Linda Buckley Archer. This one was, I think it was because it was geared so much toward middle grade, and sometimes I can read a middle grade book and really enjoy it, but this one I just could not, I don't know, it was kind of a bore for me. It was definitely geared, I felt like it talked down to me. Even if I were a young kid, I felt like it talked down to a young kid too. I felt like it was too, elementary, I guess? I don't know, but I couldn't finish the other two, and I got rid of it, which is why I don't have a picture, a physical book. I'll put a picture here, but it was just not for me. Question 5, The Lion King. Name a character who has had a traumatic event happen to them during their childhood. Just like the others who have done this tag, you can pretty much throw a stone and hit any one of these books, and the main character has undergone some type of traumatic event in their childhood, especially when you read a lot of YA, which I do. But to narrow it down, I'm going to pick Cat Chant from the Chrestomanci Chronicles. I believe it's the Chronicles, I'm not 100% sure. More specifically, the book Charmed Life, which is in this one here, and I've only read those two of them, of the Chronicles, but this one involves Cat Chant. And in the beginning, you discover that his parents, they all are on a boat, and his parents die right in front of him. And I mean, how much more traumatic can you get? You have to watch your parents drown? Like, that's awful, and you almost drown yourself? That's a pretty traumatic event. Question 6, Beauty and the Beast. A beast of a book that you were at first intimidated by, but then discovered how beautiful it was. This one I'm going to go with Shadow of Night by Deborah Harkness. I was mainly afraid of this book because of reading the first book. While I loved the first book, the author is a history professor, or she's a historian or something like that, but it shows in her writing. She's very detailed and it's very dense, her writing, and I was so afraid that I wouldn't like this book. It would be too much for me because, it didn't have a final ending, I guess, but I was worried that it was going to just go to some direction that I wasn't going to like, and either way, but it was beautiful and I loved it, and I'm really excited to read the third book. I have it, and eventually I'll pick it up, we'll see. Question 7, Aladdin, a character who got his wish granted, for better or for worse. For this one, I'm going to choose Edmond Dantes from the Count of Monte Cristo. He wanted revenge, he worked to get his revenge, and he got his revenge. Now, it's been a while since I've read this book. I can't remember how it ends, and I've seen the movie a couple dozen times. Even though this is one of my favorite books, it's a honker of a book, so it's not something I'm willing to undertake anytime soon again. But if I remember correctly, he, in the end, he sees kind of, revenge wasn't all that it was cracked up to be or something. I can't remember. But either way, it's a great book, but, his wish didn't turn out to be the way that he wanted it to be. Question 8, Mulan, a character who is pretending to be something they're not. I've actually been reading a lot of these, more specifically cross-dressing books lately, and the first one that came to mind was Alana from the Song of the Lioness series. This is by Tamara Pierce, and she switches places with her brother, and she, pretends to be a boy in order to be a knight. Question 9, Toy Story, a book with characters you wish would come to life. I had a lot of difficulty with this one, because if I were being truly honest, I would pick my book, and I would want those characters to come to life because I want to be in that world. But since I, aside from my shameless plugging that I just did a moment ago, I really don't think I should pick them. I should pick a real, honest-to-goodness author, and for that I went with the Throne of Glass characters. Not so much because of Selena, because I feel like Selena and I would butt heads. I don't think we would get along very well, but I love, Kale, and I'm forgetting, Rowan, and I'm forgetting so many characters, but I would love to meet all of them and just, pet Kale's face and, just sit and stare at him. I would totally, geek out on him. Question 10, Disney Descendants, which is the whole reason why this Disney tag was created, because it's, promoting the new book by Melissa de la Cruz, which is, I'm forgetting the title, and I will just write it across here when I go look it up later. But Disney Descendants, the question is your favorite villain or morally ambiguous character. For this one I went with Lestat in The Interview with the Vampire. In this book he's depicted as a villain. He's, the guy who's kicking Louis around, and we actually discovered later on that he may not be so villainous, and a lot of the stories end up involving, Lestat, and he's my favorite. I love him so much. If you haven't read The Vampire Lestat, you really should. It's so beautifully done. I can't speak of the other ones because I'm afraid it's going to ruin the series for me, but I really need to read them. But this one, then read this one first, obviously, because it's the first. But Lestat is just so wonderful. Even when he's a villain, I loved him. So good. There you have it, my Disney tag answers. Let me know down below some of your answers, all of your answers, whatever. If you have a video for me to watch, I want to watch it, so link it down below. What did you think of my answers? Do you think I'm a freaking nut job? Because, well, maybe not answer that because we all know I'm a little bit nutty. Anyway, also don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. See you later, BookTube!